like I said, it kind of like
Really grow.
kind of like travel through this little like flavor palette of things,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm trying a little of this.
Are we gonna do this? What's going on?
I'm trying to both things at the same time. Oh, let's go.
Facebook and YouTube.
So I should show you I found these two guys on TikTok and they do recovery, like
Yeah.
comedians on there. And then people can jump into the box one at a time to like share their piece. And it's like a sober talk. I'll give you their names.
Yeah.
And I actually reached out to one of them to do like them to come and speak to my group over Zoom. And then at the end, they open up all like 10 or 20 boxes and they say the Serenity Prayer at the end of it.
Okay.
But it's
kind of like a Zoom meeting.
It is, yes, but it's on TikTok because everybody uses TikTok now. You know. So I'll give you their names on there.
Who's the light? You need the light.
Passing on. Someone tap their mic. One person. Two. Well,
Keep on. Hello.
I know.
Well, I'm worried. I'm going to blow his eardrums out.
If anybody's gonna blow his eardrums out, it's gonna be him.
Oh. I don't like microphones.
Well,
So this is a big deal for me. I didn't even speak at my sister's wedding. That was a maid of honor.
Okay. Yeah, kind of. Oh,
As you can see.
it's kind of hard. Yeah. Hard. Okay. All right.
What do you want me to say?
Just anything.
I just tell. I am talking. Testing. Testing.
One. I know a couple things.
Don't get me fired up.
I know one name.
Really testing.
Yes.
I know one name. Look at me this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
It's like a Texas Roadhouse.
Okay.
Okay, and then 3.
Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. 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 Testing. 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 Testing.
You want to do this one?
Hello, I'm Brother Brandon.
Ready?
Are you ready? We've been streaming.
Oh, we're streaming. Okay.
Hello.
Unorthodox.
It's
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're
I
like,
wish that whole. Oh, okay.
Okay, so we're gonna have to edit.
To my mom.
yeah. Or just go with the flow. It's natural. Everybody likes a natural thing.
Okay. We're live. It's another episode of Sober Talk with Brother Brandon, the Ragin Cajun, baby. It's not the weekend yet, but we're here live at Recovery Reinvented. And everybody that has to do with sobriety, peer support, anything of that nature is here today. I was personally invited by the governor and his wife and Jonathan Holtz. But I have my lovely co-host, my fiance Teresa.
Yep.
She comes from the mountains Delta. And and I have our first guest. So you can announce yourself, who you are, and what you're a part of, and why you're here today.
I'm Kara Simons, and I am the administrator at Southwest Multi-County Corrections Center.
Yeah.
And we have also created a program that is tied to the jail, where it's a community program. And we offer services to people, treatment and finding services for travel and housing and all sorts of things. We have a recovery talk that we have going on. We offer peer support, peer coordination, for FCR and Unique X.
And I'm Allison Wanner, and I'm the clinical director up there. So I'm one of the LACs.
Okay.
So I do the treatment programming and just kind of the clinical side of stuff. I do some trauma therapy as well.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have the background of the prison.
Yeah.
And now we're out.
DOCR affiliates.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And who's sitting behind you back there?
I'm Summer Austin. I do all of our electrical monitoring.
Yeah.
through the jail.
Okay.
Some public housing, all that type of stuff.
So electrical monitoring, like, okay, yeah, ankle monitor.
Rather than sitting in jail, it's a complicated.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
They can still work, maintain them, still be,
Okay.
classless, let's like all of those things.
So how often does someone cut one off and take off?
Before I've only had it happen with her once.
Oh,
How much does it cost when somebody does that?
Really?
Really?
So I seen a TikTok video of a guy showing how to get it off without cutting it.
Yeah, it's possible.
It is.
Yeah.
Then we
Not saying that's the right thing to do, but I mean it's something to talk about.
Yeah.
So one of the cool things about our program is that Summer doesn't just do EHM; she also does. How this program was designed for community supervision program is we go and we work with the courts, and they will refer somebody to the program, and then we go into the jail. We meet with them at the jail, do an interview, see if they're appropriate for the program, and then we get them out. If they are, we get them out in lieu of bond, so they don't have to pay that bond, which is always a struggle for people.
Right.
They get onto that ankle monitor, and then we monitor them in the community, and then help them with all their needs that they need, right? So getting evaluations and treatment taken care of, any psych or medical.
Or just maintain their job that they had prior to going to jail so they don't lose their job, their house, their relationships. We can maintain that.
that are in classes and treatment.
Yeah.
Okay. And so is the Southwest Stark County Jail still a private owned facility?
It is owned by the counties, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, I remember y'all had good commissary. Y'all had the little Star Crispy snacks.
Yeah.
And
Little Debbie's. Is that what they were?
yeah, I think so. Those little Star Crispy snacks.
I don't know.
They had
I never
Yeah.
spent
all
time
kind
to
of
get
good
to jail.
stuff.
Those chips that they get are really
And,
good.
and I didn't have no money.
You can order them on Amazon
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
So who do we have back here?
I'm Sarah Kylan. I'm an LAC. I still work at the women's prison in New England and do all the evals there. And then I also do our evals for the community program and at the jail.
Okay.
So if anyone enters the community supervision program with Summer, they need an eval, so I meet with them. So sometimes that's in the jail, sometimes they're out. And then we also offer services to people in the community. So
Yeah.
anybody who's scheduled was
So it's not just jail, DOCR people that we take care of. We take care of the entire community. So it could be just anybody off the streets, parole, probation, jail, DOCR. We won't turn help away from anybody.
It started just with when it was just me and Kara.
Yeah.
It was just basically people on probation and parole. And now it's community, we accept insurances.
Yeah.
do all-
Well, that's,
So let me ask you a question real quick. Sorry to interrupt. So like whenever a person works for DOCR, as you guys did, you worked for the women's prison directly in New England, and then you kind of like switched to like the jail side. Is that like a whole entity separate from itself, or
It's
is it all one?
Yeah, it's not. And that's how Sarah has the capability
That's what
to
I was
work,
gonna-
right? She works for, so multi-county is the 7 counties surrounding.
Yeah.
And they also own the prison. Okay. But the prison is contracted. So they're contracted with the DOCR.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay.
there's the
That's where that question came from, was because you work for the women's prison and the.
And the community and for at the jail.
That's really cool.
We-
I can't clean somebody else's house, for working for the place that I work for right now.
Right.
No, just kidding.
and so we were at the New England prison over the summer doing a hip hop and hope tour.
No.
Hip hop and hope. It was Teresa's first time going back to the facility.
That was an experience. That was an
And she
experience.
got-
I was so scared.
Yeah, she got
Walk
to,
around free.
she got
Yeah, and
to speak to the ladies.
well, because remember when I was there, I don't know if you guys remember this gal. She had blonde hair, and she came in and she spoke her story.
Oh,
Was that her name?
Chrissy, yep.
Okay, so I remember sitting in a chair in the back, going, I'm going to do that one day. So I set that goal in motion
Yeah.
years prior to this. And so when I walked into DWCRC, all I could say in my head and visualize was that moment. Me sitting way in the back going like, just angry, and then being like, I'm going to be here one day, trying to shake my attitude. And,
Yeah.
and then I walked in there like that, like,
Yeah.
relating to these women, like, you don't understand, like, I'm going on 2 years sobriety here because I drank a little bit when I got out, more than I should have. So I had to reset myself again, and I checked myself into Heartview. But I walked up in front of that group of women like I was just recently where you are right now. You know what I mean? And all it takes is a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, and a goal to put yourself in any position that you want to be in life. And we did it together, and we did it with a group of people that were really influential, like EI the King. EI makes music, and he's on
From Tampa.
the tablets. Like,
I feel like
Okay.
you told me about that.
yeah, and they're
And-
on Pando. So like on and it was crazy because when those tablets first came out, you know, you get to like, what's really on here? What is this
Yeah.
for? And you get all these different things on there, and he's like influential on there with his music, and he got to like walk into a small women's prison in North Dakota, and
That's
people are like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And then here we are, just like, we're just servants, you know, like we're back here to like show you guys it's possible. Just come try it, you know?
It is.
And women reached out to me after that.
That's awesome.
And I was like,
So impactful.
yeah. I was like in my head, I was like, am I really at this point in my life right now?
Yeah.
I'm at this point in my life.
Yeah, that's how it felt the first time I went in the county.
Yeah, I remember that.
I did.
Or not, no, not that one.
I went in the county here for a whole year every week, and I've been going into the walls for the last 2 years.
Okay.
So
That one changed your whole perspective, I think.
yeah, I mean it's a different feeling when you go in and get out the same day.
Yeah. You won't sleep in your own bed.
Yeah.
And they're happy to get you in, and
And
they're
you're not
happy to
walking in
watch
the
you.
back door. You're walking in the front door.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Here, I'm here to check in and
Yeah.
check out.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you feel, or you guys do feel like it was like being able to go in and talk to people that where you were at one point is like a huge impactful thing that
It
they
is.
hear for them?
It is.
I know that it is, but like personally, like when he asked me, he was like, "How do you feel?" I said, "I feel like I'm not worthy."
Right. That's how I felt at first too. I mean, that's just the feeling of I don't forget what they call it, psychological term, but it's a feeling of I used to always have that feeling of being in trouble.
Right.
And so now I'm on the other side. I mean, to me, it's a blessing.
Well,
You
yeah,
get to reflect
absolutely.
on it. And
Absolutely.
You know,
It humbles you a lot.
right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I like to talk to the guys and tell them, okay, what's your plan when you get out? Because majority of the people will be getting out one day.
Yep.
I recommend going to a sober living facility, but and not a halfway house.
And
That's just my personal opinion. Everybody that I've seen or mentored or sponsored in halfway houses usually mess up and go back. You know what I mean? Why that happens, I don't know. I'm-
Sober houses actually have a desire to sober.
Right.
Right.
Different.
Also,
yeah,
I can tell
yeah.
you, I like to tell them my experience when I got out.
Right.
Okay, my plan is I'm gonna change my life. I have all my little Bible scriptures that I've been writing down for months, and I put them in my little bag, and I leave with my commissary card with $80 on it, and I go get a hotel room to try to figure out life. A couple hours later, I'm either drunk, and then I'm high. You know what I mean? And how do you stop that? And I also ask, who's been in this facility more than once? Why is that? You know? And so it's something that some people didn't ask me. I mean, or tell me, you know? Because your life will get better, but how do you keep it?
Well, that's the part that, yeah, that's the part of that I think that like a lot of people don't understand is like prison and jail then or how many years ago versus now is completely different. Like you guys, Allie, and Kara and Lalissa, I wish she would come on camera. I just love her. I know I seen her back there like,
She's walking
you know,
over.
I know I seen her. She's like the little kid with her candy, like watching her, just wanting to be a part of it, but doesn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah. Up here. No,
Yeah.
she would do it. She would
be like,
gosh.
no.
Right.
So
She would
like
leave me.
Shout
I'm
out
really-
to Pretty Ricky.
Yay! Yeah. So I like that because like we were talking about earlier, like when you think of DARE versus what's going on right now, Recovery Reinvented, right? The implements, the things that are in place. I think of like how prison was the first time I was there versus the second or third time I was there. You know, you go to the hole the first time and there's nothing else. You get the Bible and that's what you get, which is good inspiration, but that's not where you want to find inspiration, really, right? You want to
No.
figure out what's going to happen after that. And Allie, you were a huge part of that in my success story is, you know, figuring out how we keep stepping forward instead of staying stuck here. And that helps make that change. So like you get out of prison or jail or wherever you're at and you realize that it all starts right here.
Yep.
the fears, the traumas.
Don't do that.
Yep.
Well, I almost cried twice or three times already today, and I had to hold it back. I was like, "Be strong, be strong, be strong, be strong. You know, be confident. Let's do this." I mean, but it's
But, you know,
real.
like, it's all on you though too, right? You know, we're just merely a guide. You know, and we're there to help you, but it's up to you whether you take it or you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
You took it and you ran with it, and here you are today doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when you guys, well, I can't think of her name. Who else was down there in your office? What was her name?
Lenore.
Yep. And Lenore was an officer too. And you guys were so strict. We had to walk in a straight line to chow, and you couldn't talk even. And then that was when the Sally Port was in the back, and we had to walk through that way. And Larry, I think his name was there, and he always had some crazy creamer sitting on the desk, and it was like, oh, I wish I had that. And then we had it, you know, after a while, after 10 years, we had that. But like
Amen.
how it was is like it started with that foundation. I come from that too. You know, my mom was really strict, and we kept a strict house, you know. And so there's a point in that you need to have a certain level of discipline along with like the good coping skills and
Right.
techniques to like
Right.
move forward.
Right.
Yeah.
So like being able to go in and like ask those guys, what is your plan or what you're doing, you know, is something to really focus on. You know, almost sounds like.
Yeah. And not a lot of people can do that, ask for help when they get out. Like your first idea when you get out is, mine was, I want a cigarette and a beer.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's going to tell me that I'm free. I'm going to have a cigarette. And my dad and my mom were like, baby, like I couldn't even smoke cigarettes, you know? And I was like, I want a cigarette, you know? So like, yeah, just being able
And
to.
now, how long have you been cigarette free?
I don't pay attention to it. I don't even, I know my. Yeah. I smoked for, and it was okay. So, you know, when I do something, I got to do it big.
Yeah.
So I quit smoking and I got off of my mental health meds all at the same time.
Yeah.
No. You saw my face.
Talk about rough
Well,
six
let me
months.
add
I'm sorry.
let me add the cherry on top of it. This is kind of, too much information, but I had a female issue happening that I had to have surgery too. So, do you know what I mean? Like a small version of having a baby emotionally. You know what I mean? Like you go through like all them crazy
And
emotions
he
because
stood by you.
Yeah.
knows?
I almost lost him, but I brought him back. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it was rough. And all he kept saying to me was like, baby, I love you. Baby, I love you.
So
We're
like
gonna
having
get through
that
this.
support.
Yeah. And he would say to me, we're gonna get through this. I'm like, stop saying that. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, I literally turned into like the exorcist crawling backwards. My head was spinning around. And so, because when I quit smoking, yeah. When I quit oh my God, I'll put that up. No, you won't. My coffee, Kara was on top of me. Oh no.
Oh gosh, I was just talking about that.
Were you?
Yeah.
You were so strong for your size. She's the one that was like pinned me down.
I was just talking about that because we were talking about the new floor officer that was there that day, and she stood down by the bathroom and was like,
Who was it?
Rachel was her name.
Oh,
But she stood in the doorway and she just peered around and she just stood there and stared, and she was like in this shock.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening now?
Yeah.
And
Which is kind of cool because like in the future after that, who was it, Vicky or who was it? No. Who? No, Joe. No. What's her name?
Jen?
Yes, Jen. Jen would be like, hey, Teresa. So we have some training to do. And I was wondering if you could like make a scene and, you know, let's make this happen. Let's see how these guys are going to respond. And it like got to be so fun. Like I was working in the kitchen and I was always like chopping vegetables, like, what's going on, guys? You know, like, I mean, that's how I envisioned it in my head. And Jen would be like, so we're doing a training. I'm like, yes. What do you want me to do? She's like, so I see you're wearing gloves there. I'm like, yeah, I got to be hygienic. She's like, let's chop off one of your fingers. I'm like, let's do it. How do you want me to make this happen? She's like, put a little bit of ketchup in let's make it real dramatic. And I'm one for the dramatics, girl. You know, I love it. So here she comes. And it was Haley, and you know how Haley, she's so sweet. And oh gosh, she was like, she panicked first, and then she grabbed my hand and was like, we gotta call, in the infirmary. She's like, let's go to the infirmary. And she's ready to unlock the door right away. Yeah, during the day, ready to unlock the door and like run me down the hall. And Jen's like, oh, I know she's in the hall waiting just to see how this has happened, or like watching the camera somewhere, but it was so funny. And then I pretended like I fainted and she gets on the floor. Oh my God. It was just so funny. Threw my bed in the hallway one time too in Otter Dorm. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to come and do something, an event with you guys. I'm very creative. with ideas or whatever you guys.
We just had a color run. A 5K, actually, we just had a 5K for reducing with stigma and addiction. And we partnered with DSU, their running club, and we had speakers.
So you're the alley.
I'm
Yeah.
Allie.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm the Allie.
Yeah.
I'm like, these people, some of them look familiar.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. So we actually raised about $6,000 to $7,000 for the food pantry
Wow.
and scholarships. And we had speakers, Dakota Gant and Jesus Cantu. I don't know if
He
you
was
know
on my
him.
show.
Okay, which one?
Sober Talk. This show.
Oh,
No,
I
which-
know.
which
Jesus
speaker?
or Dakota.
Dakota.
Dakota. Oh,
I think he mentioned that. Yeah.
he's amazing.
So he actually
United
contracts.
Way.
He contracts with us. He is
Yeah.
one of our peer supporters.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Amazing. They're both amazing individuals.
Yeah.
Amen.
But I would love, like, even like next year as we grow that run, having you guys there and just figure out what can we do to bring more awareness. It's been a big goal for me, and Karen knows that, like reducing that stigma on addiction.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
you don't know if
absolutely.
it's your kid's fifth grade teacher or your neighbor or the person on the street. Addiction doesn't, it's not
Right.
picky and choosy. It goes for everybody, but we just need to reduce that stigma. So.
Yeah.
So do you guys have a name for the coalition that you're starting or running?
Well, our run is called Colors of Recovery.
Yep.
But we do have like a recovery awareness talk, I guess, on Monday. But
But ours is just the Southwest Multi-Jail Detention Center. We're the community program
Okay.
portion of it because it's not located in the jail.
Right.
Funny part about that is that when we started FTR and Community Connects,
Free through recovery. Community Connect. Yep.
when we started those and had care coordinators, and we're looking into doing it, they were kind of hesitant because they were like, you're affiliated with the jail. Nobody
Yeah.
is going to want to meet with you, right?
Mm.
You're law enforcement. So it's really interesting because right away we had people just requesting to be with our
It's because
team.
the need is there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that program has just opened up so many doors. We were just talking about Dakota Gant and Jesus Cantu, and I mean
I
both.
think he was on my show as well. He's got the tattoos on his
I
head.
remember that.
Yep. He
Yeah.
was on my show as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Good people.
Yeah, with Hope's Landing.
Yes,
Shout out.
that's right. Yeah,
Shout out to Hope's Landing Sober Living.
absolutely.
We did go to their 5K run.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. Because
And that was like a few weeks before that.
a few weeks before that.
You were
yes.
supposed to send me the information.
And-
Oh, yeah. That's okay.
It's
We
okay.
probably wouldn't have been. We were so busy
Everybody's
at that time,
busy
anyways.
these
But
days.
yeah,
We're busy.
I
that
need
was
an
like sixth
assistant.
season for kids. So you guys had a really good like start then with your program.
Yeah, I mean we did. And then we brought in the two peer supports, and I mean we have other peer supports besides them, but they're such an asset. And the reason they're such an asset is because their story is so impactful.
That's the part. Yep.
And so, like, we kind of joke around because you used to say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to work at that prison someday," right? And
Yeah.
just makes me think of like Jesus. Same thing with Dakota. I mean, they were in that spot too. You
Yeah.
know, they were living that hard life and trying to figure things out. And now they're very proud to say that they work with us.
Right, because like coming from like any kind of point of view, like for example, treatment, right? It's hard for someone being on this side of the, not to say this side of the fence, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This side of the fence, and your counselor has no idea what you're talking about. They don't have the emotional connection, the lived-in experience, and that's the important part about peer support, right? Is that you can say like, I'm not a cop. If that's what your fear is, and most people, their fear is when they come from corrections is that, are you going to tell on me, right? I know my number one fear when I worked with Free Through Recovery was, if I tell you something like I slipped up and I had a drink, are you going to like tell my PO, or am I going to get set back for this because I slipped up? And it was, no, accidents happen as long as you're moving forward correctly. And when I did, it's that relationship that you don't really get. Right. And I think that's where the success comes in. So
I love that program. I hope peer support never goes away. I see
It's opened so many doors.
it's opened so many doors and offered so much help. I really hope it continues.
yeah.
If not,
It would be a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
yes.
We
yes.
kind of heard a little rumor, but I hope it's not true.
If not, you two can start a new one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that needs to happen, like how Mike was talking about. You know what I mean? Mike was talking about like other ways to
Yeah.
implement things, and I really feel like that. I don't know why they would do that. I don't know why you would take something away that helped create such a huge movement and is so impactful with people.
I think it always comes down to the funding. I mean, the funding always is, kind of the major.
It's always money, but
Well, they shouldn't put, if they are going to remove it, they shouldn't put such heavy restrictions on it then.
Yeah.
Even if, let's say they did get rid of the program and we don't have it, right? I think that in Dickinson, our jail is probably one of the most progressive jails in the state.
Yeah.
And we're
House.
moving more towards treatment and finding services.
In-house, yeah.
Right.
In-house.
So they get
They attend a lot of jail guys and females will actually get on work release and they attend my treatment. So they get all that before sentencing. So they go to sentencing, they tell the judge, I got this, I have this job, I have ND rent, or I have this, and then they don't get sent to prison.
Yes.
Which is a huge thing. So we have that like that type of program that a lot of county jails may not have.
That's where a lot of the success comes in, is you're really not trying to let people like fail. Because I remember whenever I used to work with you, Allie, you would ask me, you were like, so when you were out, what was the hardest thing, and what could have worked a little bit better, right? What could have stopped that?
Yep, you have to reflect on that to see, okay, if this happens again, because it probably will.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What are we going to do next?
Yeah. How many times are we going to start and stop? Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to thank y'all for coming talk on Sober Talk.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
I look forward to connecting with you guys, and we can plan some events.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be in the near future.
Yeah.
It could be just us
Whatever.
coming. It doesn't matter. Whatever you need.
Excited.
We're open. Yeah.
We're down for it.
Yeah. I keep telling him, I'm like, we need to get with them. We need to get with them. Yeah.
Right. And so thank you, Allie.
Yeah.
And
Kara and Summer
and
Sarah.
and Sarah from Stark County.
Yeah.
Southwest Multi-Correctional Center.
Very proud of you.
Thank you.
we are all
We're
I'm
like,
proud of
Thank you.
seeing
I'm so
you-
glad you guys were here.
seeing you, like even just reaching out to me and telling me what you're doing. Like when we're on the phone, I literally just am all smiles.
Yeah.
Like you are that success, and that's all on you. And I just want you to be so proud of yourself.
Thank you.
I'm very
Yeah.
proud of you,
Well,
Tracy.
thank you. Well, I just ask you guys to continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Follow the Facebook page, follow the YouTube page,
Yes.
and grab some stickers.
Yes. I'm putting it on my computer. We love stickers.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you guys.
Any shout outs?
Shout out to my mom.
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
Hey.
We're here live at Recovery Reinvented 2024 at the Bismarck Event Center. Shout out to Tied for Second Sober Living, Hope's Landing, Make It Extraordinary, and all the supporters. F5 Project, Prairie Recovery Center. You know who you are if you support Sober Talk. Well, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
I hope y'all have a great day, and I look forward to connecting with you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, God bless.
Yes. You too. Hello.
Are you going to end it?
What, are we killing?
Mhm.
Why? Star has
Cut.
Shut my mom.